Hi, I'm Chris from Airwindows, and I'm going to show you how to do something interesting today with a DFAM and Mother32. Namely, we're going to make a trance bass line out of these two things using the sequencer. Here's our raw materials. As you can see, that's a 16th note going at a pretty good clip. I'm thinking maybe what we should do is make it in tune. That's using a axolotl, and I'll be getting into that later. But for now, here's what I've got in mind. I'm going to synchronize that using this. Okay, that sounds synchronized enough. We'll add a hat, and now we're going to start trying to make this bass line. I got my little cheat sheet over here. The first thing we're going to want to do is run the VCF envelope generator to VC Mix Control. Now that's not going to help us right now, but that's part of our recipe for making this work. The secret to doing this is that we want to make it so that this envelope that comes in, the voltage will be high when the kick hits, and we want that to make the Moog go away. Currently it's like this. We want that to make the note go away when the kick drum comes. And the secret to doing that is to manipulate this mix control. We're going to short out mix 2. By default, this is a high voltage, and it'll go from nothing to high. If we short it out, this is also a low voltage. Then, we'll take our gate output and connect that to mix 1. VC Mix is now reversed from what it usually does. This is low voltage. This will be a high voltage because every time one of these pulses happens, the gate will be high. And mix control is turning this clockwise whenever the beat happens. So what we can do here, I'm going to exaggerate it fully by taking VC Mix output and running it to a mult. Now that I've got a mult, this is going to be doing the things that we want, so we'll say put it to VCF cutoff, like this, see? Note we haven't engaged it yet. And I'm even going to put this to the resonance, just for fun. Now observe this behavior. VCF decay, VCF envelope generator. You can make it a more intense effect by manipulating the VC Mix control. The neat thing about doing it this way is that you can get a bunch of effects that aren't like just your regular it's not going to be just your straight 3 notes after it, but you can set it up as follows. Here's our kick drum. It's a DFAM kick drum. And you can hear that it's not doing the 3 notes until you set it up like this. And we'll cancel all this other stuff for a moment. And you can hear that it's doing the 3 notes just as it's supposed to. We can remove the resonant frequency for that matter. Let's just set this up. And only the cutoff, and we'll simplify it a little bit. If you're multing it, that means you can do all kinds of other funny things while you're at it. But this is our example of just the straight up result. So what we can do here is manipulate it in various ways. We got sustain on, we can take it off for a more percussive effect. Now we don't have to use just VCF-EG. For instance, if we've got it set up like this, because we want a big resonant kick drum that acts like this. That's the kick. That means our VCA decay is kind of long, and the VCF, maybe we want that to be super long. If we do this, then our ability to run the Mother32 is gone because this is stretching out much too long. But we can simply plug it into something else, for instance, VCO envelope generator. That's over here. And again, if you speed up the decay really fast, you get 4 notes, or very nearly 4 notes. And if you slow it right down, you start suppressing the Mother32 as it comes in. The voltage of the envelope generator is inverted through VC mix this way and applied to the volume of the thing. And then we've got the VCA, which is also super long. But you know, if we make it super quick, we can have the same effect. So we can retain the crazy tonality of this guy. And allow those notes to come through. I'll demonstrate it like this. Here we have 4 notes. Now we have 3 more or less even. And then we have this sort of swelling effect when the envelope becomes really long. So I generally think that using the VCA decay to have the length of the kick, and then using the VCF decay for the way that it's obscuring the Mother32 is the best way to go. So we'll set it back to that. And we'll set up some stuff. We've got our little, this melody, the bassline melody is being programmed by the axolotl, which is putting out a control voltage output that's tuning it to the chord. And yes, the chord is 4-chord song. Here we go. swelling effect. And then let's go to shorten that kick up a bit. If we set the Mother32 to a very quick decay, we get a sputtering effect that's in time with the sound. Hear this sort of flutter? Give it a little decay and it smooths that out. And of course, since these are also controllable, we can do some silly things here as well, such as, let's say, I may have to jump up and get figuring out what I need to do here. So LFO square to VCF decaying. Now we're switching between modes using the LFO. Now granted, we don't necessarily want it to be an LFO, but you can see that it can be controlled with control voltages. And just for fun, let's change this control voltage to a triangle wave. Well, except for, come to think of it, I just made a mistake. I applied LFO wave to this, but what we need to do here is repatch it, so. And if I wanted to reduce the effect, I'd run it through another mix control. I'm using the one that I've got now, but that's what I would be doing. And then let's increase the LFO. Mess with the effect that we're getting. And then if I take away the kick drum, As you can see, you can do a lot of cool things with this particular combination of stuff. And granted, also with an axolotl. But all that's doing is tuning this all. If I was to remove that, I would still have the effective thing going on with this, and indeed I can set it up to play different patterns. Granted, it's a bit of a weird pattern here. Let's use some of this stuff to... First of all, go to step mode. We'll go to... Now what we're going to do, I think, is unwind this a bit. We've got this crazy LFO stuff going on, making it sound weird, so let's unplug that. We'll slow down the VCF decay just enough. Interestingly, we've also got a ratchet on this note, so let's just see what this makes. Take away a little of the bass with the resonance. We can hear that it's still ducking this. So now we've got a pretty cool thing going on where it's this funky repeating in 7 beats thing that's being overridden on the fly by the DFAM. I'm going to manipulate that a little bit. Change the sound of this a little bit. This is set up with a frequency modulation patch. So the sound that it's getting is not your most typical sound. It's a little bit organic. It moves around a little. And speaking of moves around a little, remember this? Let's make this bass line do something fun. Again, all with just manipulating these knobs and stuff. It's like a self-playing patch. Oh, and I almost forgot. So we can do this kind of thing for hours if we want. And the bottom line is, It's all being driven by this crazy little Moog patch that lets you duck the DFAM, giving you that trance bass, except for that it can get a lot more complicated than just your regular trance bass. Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you later when I come up with something else cool.